This is David Rovics with a song for today. One songwriter's take on the history of the world, one song at a time. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Long before there was a commonly held concept called Europe, there was the concept of Christendom, and Christian fanatics who believed Christendom should be everywhere. It was a convenient belief for those in power, pulling the strings of the mad crusaders who stood to profit greatly from their mass religious suicidal insanity. Armies of Christian fanatics met crushing military defeats at the hands of the Ottoman Empire on their many attempts to get to Jerusalem, but they kept coming. Eventually they got there by bypassing the main centers of Ottoman power. With the aid of this kind of fanaticism to draw on, and disunity among the ranks of the various Muslim-led kingdoms of Spain, King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella managed to unite Spain under Catholic rule for the first time in many centuries. The first thing they did, on March 31st, 1492, was to sign the Alhambra Decree, which gave the Jews of Spain, the Sephardim, 3 months to settle their affairs and leave the country or be killed. Muslims would be expelled from Spain some years later. For the short term, the expulsion of the Jews from Spain gave the cash-strapped Spanish monarchy debt relief, partly because any debt owed to Jews was irrelevant if you kicked them out of your country, and there were a lot of quick earnings to be made from property abandoned or sold quickly at rock-bottom prices by people fleeing for their lives. Many Jews were killed in horrific ways during those first 3 months when they were supposedly under royal protection. A popular method was by gutting, since the rumor was that the Jews were eating their apparently abundant supplies of gold before trying to get a ride across the Mediterranean from Spanish sailors. The many hundreds of thousands of Sephardim who did make it out of Spain in one piece were in large part rescued by a massive operation carried out under the direction of the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire. So many Ottoman ships were clogging the shipping lanes of the Mediterranean, heading west to go rescue Jews or heading east to bring them safely to Izmir, that Christopher Columbus was forced to use alternate routes to get out onto the open seas of the Atlantic as he was heading out on his mission to find gold for the crown.
In 1492, Columbo crossed the ocean, only one of many harbors that would then be set in motion as his men cut limbs of Arawaks and burned children at the stake, plundering a continent for God's sake. In 1492, when King Ferdinand won Granada, he passed a law known as the Edict of Alhambra. It was as the landlords wanted, as his gracious God had willed, that any Jew in Spain had 3 months to leave or else be killed. And 800,000 Europeans became refugees and headed east across the Mediterranean Sea. In 1492, they were starving and bereft. The king said they'd be safe up until the time they left. But Christian Europeans cut them open with their swords, searched their stomachs for gold, and dumped them overboard. 800,000 Europeans became refugees and headed east across the Mediterranean Sea. In 1492, the Sultan sent his fleet to go rescue Sephardim after the Ottoman defeat. Hundreds of thousands of people who knew their deaths were near were rescued by Muslims and taken to Izmir. In 1492, the Sultan said that's fine if they'd impoverish their kingdom just to enrich mine. The Sultan also passed an edict. He said, welcome home. Now treat your new neighbors as if they were your own. And 800,000 Europeans became refugees and headed east across the Mediterranean Sea. And headed east across the Mediterranean Sea. In 1492.
This has been a Song for Today from David Rovics, making popular education popular again. If you go to davidrovics.com, you can hear lots of other episodes of this and other podcasts, see where I'm touring next, and get on my email list. You can also click on CSA there on my website and join my community-supported art program, which is mainly how I get by in the free streaming era. I hope to see you sometime soon again here on the internet or on the road and hopefully in the streets.